You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 269 for Sunday the 14th of July 2019.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello, my Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are you?
I'm jolly good, my lovely. How's you?
I'm not too bad. You're on like mega countdown now, aren't you?
I am on mega countdown. Literally in a week's time, I will be virtually touching down in Orlando, depending on what time people listen to this particular podcast.
This is very true, yes.
I'm not really feeling all that ready, though.
Are you not? Why is that?
Well, one thing and another have just sort of got in the way. End of year work, then Dad being ill, and life, and literally going away the day after breaking up from school perhaps wasn't the wisest of decisions.
I was just going to say, are you missing some of your usual planning time, Michelle?
Planning? I'd love to plan. I really would. I did quite a lot of the sort of burns when I got the ADRs done and then a little bit more around fast pass time. But literally, it's like somebody's put my time on fast forward and I've not had any time whatsoever. And I'm really like starting to think, holy moly.
Well, you know what, though? This is going to give you a whole new perspective on taking a Disney vacation, isn't it? Because normally you're the uber, super duper, planned down to the minute sort of person. So it's going to be a different take for you.
I don't think you can do Walt Disney World without doing planning, though. I'm sorry, because you've got to plan your ADRs or you won't get to eat at your favourite places.
True.
You've got to book your fast passes or you're going to have a long line for your favourite attractions. And yes, I can imagine if you're more local or you're going for a short trip and you're not that bothered about hitting particular things, then yeah, you don't need to do all the planning that I'm doing. But when you don't know when your next trip is going to be, you've got to think it could be the last time I ride this attraction because Disney could then close this one down. So I need to try and make sure that certain things are all put in place because there's so many things that are going away over the next few months.
Well, this is very true. And obviously, you know, things change from one visit to the next as well. And there might be something that's suddenly appeared or reappeared that you may be wanting to do as well. So I can only suggest, Michelle, you've got, a 9-hour flight?
Yeah.
There you go. That's your planning time. 9 hours.
No. It'll be all sorted by then, I promise. It'll be all sorted. I'll just miss a few nights' sleep. But anyway, today's show's not going to be about whining and moaning and whatever. We're going to absolutely rock it with a few things that really, when you think about going to Walt Disney World, we've just been saying about the attractions, about the shows, about the must-do ADRs, but what if you're wanting to have a day out of the parks, or you're wanting to do something that you've never done before, that's out of your usual comfort zone, but you still want it to be from a brand that you trust and rely upon to provide a particular standard with regards to safety, price point and customer service.
True.
So I did a little bit of research and I think between the two of us we're going to present a few activities that people might want to consider about doing on an upcoming trip that might take their day at a little bit of a different speed or get them to do something that they maybe never have thought about.
Yeah, I think it's that element of, like we've just said before, actually, about doing your planning and your research. When you actually research into what there is to do, you might be quite surprised.
And some of the things that have come up about are like, oh my word, I've got to find how I can squeeze that in this trip because it's just so amazing. And some of them are things I've actually done.
Yeah.
But they're the lesser known things that really, unless you start really digging down or from word of mouth you've heard from other people, you never would have realised you could do this in Walt Disney World.
No.
So I think the first one is to ride a Segway.
Oh, no, you've done this, haven't you?
Well, many moons ago, over in Epcot, they used to have a tour where you met up in one of the buildings at Epcot and you went and had a tutorial on how to master driving a Segway. And then they took you on a tour around World Showcase before it opened. I think the tour started at something like 8 o'clock. And they took you country to country to tell you the story of the country and little hidden details and things. But you were on the Segway.
Oh, okay.
And it was great fun. And I absolutely enjoyed it to bits. It was about $100, if I remember rightly. And you got a really cool Segway pin where the actual Segway moved across the pin. It's so cute.
Oh, nice.
But at the time, there was a few things going on in the press with people wanting their rights to use Segways within the Disney theme parks. And Disney took the decision that Segways were not appropriate in the Disney theme park for health and safety reasons, and the tour suddenly disappeared.
So is it reappeared then now?
No, this one's always been there, but it's a different one. Over at Fort Wilderness, you can do the Wilderness Back Trail Adventure.
Ooh.
And it's a more progressive type of Segway. These are what you'd call your off-roaders.
Oh, like 4x4 type.
Yeah, well, it's got the thicker tyres. They're a little bit more robust because you're going on the tracks and trails. And it's taking you all around the more scenic part of that particular resort. And it's one I've actually literally booked before. And 2 days before on a past trip, I had to cancel because of my knee injury. I still haven't squeezed this one in. But my oh my, I need to do it because it sounds so much fun. You know, you're getting out there, you're getting to see the Fort Wilderness area, you're getting to have fun on the Segway, you're getting stories from the cast that are taking you on it, and learning the Segway is a skill because I don't know about you, but I don't have one tucked up in my garage.
No, surprisingly, I don't either, no.
So I thought that'd be something that perhaps might interest people to go and have a go on.
I would think so, yeah. So it's a different way to see an area, isn't it? And not only is it a different way to see something, but you're actually probably going to see an area that perhaps you would otherwise not go and see. If that makes sense.
Now, it's a 2-hour adventure. Some of that time is used with the training because they're not just going to let you go on a Segway and say, off you go.
No.
So they have a little bit of a circuit when you get out and about. You go over to the Tricircle D Ranch, you go to Bear Lake, you have stops at Wilderness Lodge, and all the fun and history as you get going around. It sounds fun. You've got 2 tours a day, and that's at 8:30 and 11:30. I will say with the 8:30 one, if you are relying on Disney transportation, just be careful because getting out to the pickup point is a bit challenging at 8:30.
Yes, get up early.
Yeah, but it's also thinking about the transportation links as well to get out there. And also, you've got to be within a particular weight range.
Right.
You have to weigh at least £100 because any less than that, you just do not have the physical strength to control the vehicle.
So very much adult based then, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got to be over 16.
Okay, yeah.
And the top weight is £250 because, again, the Segway equipment is very sensitive and too much of a weighty person on them, not allowed.
Yeah.
And I do gather that you have to have some photo ID to prove that age as well.
Yeah, that's kind of expected, isn't it, with these type of things?
Yeah. You're signing away your life because you have to sign a Disney waiver and you're going to have to wear a helmet.
I think I'd want to wear a helmet. I know how bad my balance is at the best of times.
Absolutely. And of course, if you're going to go on things like that, you have to use particular footwear. You've got to wear, they sort of recommending something such as trainers. You're on your feet the whole time. So they're saying no rocker type shoes, no sandals, no flip flops, because these might not be appropriate to work the Segway. You've got to check in 15 minutes before at the bike barn at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. I don't know. Would you try that out, Jayne?
You know what? I'm a little bit dubious. I always perceive myself as not having a good sense of balance. So I think I've got it in my head that it'll be a little bit of hard work. And I also had a friend who came a cropper on a Segway in this country and hurt herself really badly because she fell on her bottom.
Oh dear.
And it wasn't good. So when you've had somebody do that, you kind of like a bit, yeah, maybe not.
I will say as well, particularly for guests coming from the UK, check out your travel insurance.
Good point.
If you do not have this type of cover and you get injured, you might be liable for the whole entire hospital bill if you end up breaking something.
And we know it ain't going to be cheap in a US hospital.
No. Because, we do have to pay it out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I thought, I'll pop that one by, see what you think. But another one is something we've talked on the show before, and it's, do you want to be a mermaid?
Do you, Michelle? Do you?
Well, Kat's trying to persuade me to be a mermaid, and I haven't yet booked it, to be quite frank. $50 for this experience. It's either at Art of Animation or the Beach Club, but come on. You've got to do it at Beach Club.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's just getting myself sorted to have an early morning. I think for me, I'd do it, but I'd want to stay at the Beach Club and then I'm there early and I can get up and go do the activity, then get changed and onto the park.
Yeah, I suppose that's always going to be an issue, isn't it? If you've got, like you just said with the Segway, that being an 8:30 start, if they are early morning activities and it's not at the resort you're staying at or you're coming from off-site, then you're going to have to make sure that you've got sufficient time to actually get there. And how long are these mermaid lessons?
I think it's about an hour.
Oh, okay.
But it's a fun thing to do. It's unique. I don't know of anywhere in the UK that offers that.
No, I'm not aware of it. No, somebody might tell us different, but I'm not aware of anything.
The only thing for me personally is I think having a mixed age group class, possibly as an adult, I'd feel a bit awkward. And I don't want it to come across as I'm being anti-child, because I am totally not. I just think the things such as safeguarding, when you've got children in a pool doing this type of activity with adults, they don't know who they are. Seeing it from that point of view is awkward. I'd feel awkward.
Yeah, plus as well, Michelle, I know I would as well, and it probably because we've got that, we're from an education background. I think if I was in a pool, especially with little ones, my instincts would be to help them, because that's the sort of, because we're in that educational system, aren't we? That's our job. So I think I would become very conscious that there were younger people there and I'd be looking out for them, making sure they were okay, even though that's not my job to do in that environment, but because that's what I do Monday to Friday every day, every week of the year, I don't know whether that would detract as well, let alone, I'm totally on board with you in safeguarding issues. I think there's a whole thing there you have to be careful of. I'm not quite sure whether it would actually happen in this country, not knowing how our safeguarding rules work over here.
Yeah, I don't want to put myself in a vulnerable position where someone can take something the wrong way, or, again, that's just me being hyper paranoid and having my safeguarding head on. But it does sound an absolute fun thing to do. I would like to see them evolving it down the adult only group, because I think the adults would probably want to do a little bit more advanced skills as well. So maybe, that would work as well. Yeah,
perhaps get a little bit more adult humour in there as well, potentially.
Yeah.
The plus thing is, of course, Michelle, if you are at beaches, then there's the obvious snack afterwards as well, isn't there?
True. You've worked up an appetite. You can go get a Nowhere Jose.
Absolutely.
I think this is something that my next time I go to Walt Disney World, I want to use DVC and book out 1 or 2 nights at the Beach Club, because I have to stay there. I've got to go in that pool, and I think this would marry up to that perfectly. Yeah,
and I suppose that's the beauty with some of these extracurricular activities, that it might be something that draws you to a particular resort. If you've, especially if you've been fortunate enough to try a number of resorts and you're umming and ahhing over where to go on your next trip, perhaps that's something that would, again, sway you. Look at the complete amenities that are on offer them, and there might be something there, an activity or a sport or whatever it may well be, that might go, oh, actually, you know what, because they're doing mermaid school or whatever, that's going to sway me to book over there this time type of approach.
Now, I remember many eons ago, you and your family, all the way back to 2013, did a paragliding experience over at the Contemporary through the Sammy Duval Centre, which is no more.
We did, yes.
But Jayne, is there anything alternate to like that we could perhaps go and do if you're wanting to experience the waterways of Walt Disney World?
Well, there are lots of water-based activities, and I have to say, I was when we started talking about this. Obviously, my memories did go back to that experience, and it's one of those things that when you find yourself signing up for something, and you say the words, "Oh yeah, I'll do that," and then you think about it after you've said, "Yes, I'll do that," and your husband goes and books said, "I'll do that," and then you think, "What have I just done? What have I signed up to?" But anyway. It was a really cool experience, and it's such a shame that Sammy Duval's aren't there, because they looked after us amazingly, and they were so professional, and it felt very safe, and it was a fantastic experience. I was glad I did it. I'm not going to do it again ever, I don't think, but it was a good fun thing to do and experience, and the views from up there over Bay Lake, everything were absolutely extraordinary. So it is a shame that they aren't doing that. There are lots of water-based activities. There's lots of boat hires. There's lots of canoeing and kayaking. So there is water stuff out there for you to do. There's just nothing really on the scales that Sammy's Duval's used to offer. There's lots of fishing locations you can go and fish at as well. So there is stuff out there. It's just not maybe the high thrill seeking that there used to be. If you want to get a little bit, I suppose, on the high thrill-seeking side of it, you could go over to Typhoon Lagoon. They do the surfing over there. If that's maybe your thing, that might be something to look into and take advantage of. If you fancy learning to surf.
I did look into it.
Have you?
I did.
Are you doing it?
Well, I heard it on another podcast, and I thought, by heck, that sounds fun. And I was all ready to booking myself. Poor Tommy's going to go mad with this. Booking Tommy, Lena, me, Tom, onto doing this, because we thought that sounds really good fun. It's a 3-hour session. Yeah. And in that 3-hour session, you get 100 waves broken into sets of 25. I'm sounding like a surf dude now, aren't I?
Yeah, you hanging 10 and everything.
Hanging 10, and I know the lot. And there's about 25 guests. Although in practice it could be a lot lower number, because some of those could be just watchers, because you're allowed to have watchers with you. And you don't need admission to Typhoon Lagoon, because it's something that happens beforehand. Yeah. And I just thought, that sounds really good. And I think they sort of have a light continental breakfast afterwards. Some baked goods, pastries, fruit and coffee, etc. Some digital photography. So I was getting really excited. I thought, this is amazing. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to be riding a 6-foot wave. I'm going to be looking cool. I'm going to be all sorted. And then I looked at the price.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not cheap, is it?
No.
What is it? $190? Yeah. Did I read? Yeah.
So I was thinking, that's just under $800 for 4 of us.
I think I'd rather just go out for a nice breakfast somewhere, Michelle.
Bank account says no.
Yeah. But like we've always said with these things, there is more to Disney World than just roller coasters. And it's things like this that it might be on your bucket list to do anyway in life. And I know for Simon and I, when we did the parasailing with Sammy Duval's a fair few years ago, part of the reason we chose to do it at Disney was because of that element of it's Disney, it will be done properly. We trust in the people that are organising it and running it, and trust that, the boats are the right spec and the safety equipment's all good, etc. So if you have got something like learning to surf or whatever on your bucket list of items to do, it may be that you think, well, actually, for the cost, I know it's going to be of a high standard. I know we're going to be looked after, etc. Perhaps, people might want to take that opportunity. But like we've always said, there's these more expensive things to do, and then there's a lot cheaper things to do as well, should you look for it.
Now, while we were having this chat as well with regards to water activities, I had mentioned on the show a little bit earlier on in the year that I'd looked at this, and I'm so desperate to do it. Dive Quest.
Ah, okay.
I so want to do this.
And have you got it booked?
No, because, there's two types of options you can use. You know that big, massive 57 million gallon tank?
The big one, yes.
The biggie. You know,
Yes.
you're talking about 6,000 sea creatures.
Ooh, yes.
Amazing. There's 56 viewing windows for people to watch you while you're taking this activity on board. It's amazing, but they offer a dive one or a snorkel one.
Right.
And I kind of think if I'm going to do it, I want to do it with the scuba side rather than the snorkel side, because I want to sort of get down to the coral. I want to be able,
Actually get properly in it, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I don't just want to be on the top looking down at people in the scuba gear saying, I wish that was me. I investigated what I needed to do to get scuba certified before I actually did. I rang up a place near to home and found out what do I need to do. And when I found out what I needed to do, I changed my mind.
This sounds probably like it's a very long experience and probably very expensive.
It was going to take me about 6 months where I had to do a lot of theory. I had to do a lot of dives and not just in swimming pools. I had to actually go out into the Lake District and do
proper open
dives,
water.
open water dives up there. It was going to cost a bit of a penny, probably looking at about £800 to £1,000.
Wowzers. And that's before you've even booked.
Oh, the experience at Walt Disney World is dead cheap in comparison, $179. It's an absolute steal.
Yeah, but you can understand why, you can't just do this it can't be your first time in the water, can it?
True. Because it is a very technical thing and it's safety as well. And it just looks so amazing. It really does. But not for me this trip.
Or and see, like we've always said, something else that you can add onto your bucket list. When you've got that, 6 months worth of free time, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to happen, isn't it?
Now, I have found something that we need Simon to do when you and he go back.
Oh, right. Okay, what's this?
Well, they've introduced a series of art programmes.
Have they?
And it's a masterclass and it's led by a professional artist at certain Disney resorts.
Okay.
And the prices range between $35 and $50 plus tax per person.
Right, that's not bad, yeah.
You get to actually do proper artwork.
I'm wondering whether they're talking landscapes or cartoony or...
I gather it depends on the particular attraction.
Okay.
If you're over at Port Orleans, it's painting on the bayou. If you're at Animal Kingdom, it's wild about painting.
It's all themed.
Yeah.
Okie-dokie.
I think over at the Boardwalk Inn, it's canvas and glass painting.
Ooh.
So there's different styles, but I thought Simon had absolutely could go in there like, I'm not a great artist, and then by the end of it, he'd be doing work better than the person leading the course.
Yeah, there could be an element of a very frustrated artist sat there having to wait and to be told what to do and how to do it. I think, yeah, it could go quite sour quite quickly, I think.
But if you want to do something artistic and be able to paint a picture of the animals over at Animal Kingdom Lodge or whatever, how better to spend a couple of hours?
Yeah, especially if you're just starting to dabble in it. I mean, I do a little bit of life drawing with Simon on a very rare occasion, and I'm always kind of surprised that I'm better than I think I am. So I would say to anybody, don't be afraid of what you can or can't create. Just go and do. Simon's motto is the only reason he's good at what he does is because he does it repeatedly. So, embrace the artist within and have a go at it if you think it's something you fancy. And it's not a big price point either. So...
Okay, the next one is, basically it's me complaining and saying, hang on a minute, Jayne, there's not enough food on this week's podcast.
Oh, goodness me, now what have you found?
The beignet dash.
That sounds like there's running involved.
Dashing more than running, I would say.
Because I once thought eating beignets and running were two things you'd put together.
But it's a beignet dash fun run.
Right.
So basically, this absolutely just sounds so much fun. Firstly, it's 1.5 miles.
Not too far. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Not too far at all, which is good. I'm happy about that. The next bit of information I've got, it costs $15 plus tax.
Okay, that's cheap.
Okay, and it's over at the French Quarter.
Love the French Quarter.
Check-in begins at 7:30 in the morning. And it's on the Riverwalk between Building 5 and the Doubloon Lagoon Pool.
Oh, yeah.
And the run starts at 8 o'clock.
Right.
You can book in advance or book on the day, but on the day I believe it's only credit card transactions are available. And you go do the little track, when you get a little sort of like a proper number and everything.
Right.
And when you finish, you get 2 things. The first one is like some Mardi Gras beads with a little plasticky sort of acrylic logo saying Beignet Dash.
Right.
And then you get a voucher to go and get yourself 3 fresh beignets.
It sounds like a lot of work to get 3 fresh beignets.
Well, true, you could just go and buy the beignets and cut out all the middleman. But you wouldn't have had the fun and doing the dash... You burn off the calories to eat the beignets.
Could we not have a beignet stroll?
You could stroll it if you want, bunny cakes.
I'm just thinking, that time of the morning, it's going to be a bit warm anyway, isn't it? Who wants a sweaty me running past them?
Well, it doesn't specify run. It just says it's a dash.
You could do a bit of speed walking.
Yeah, 1.5 miles speed walking. I could easily do that. 20 minutes, piece of cake.
Yeah.
Anyway, just something I thought of that you might want to do. Sounds a lot of fun.
Bit of daft.
Yeah. I was talking at the weekend with your lovely daughter about a new sport that I found out is able to be partaken in Walt Disney World.
Oh, this is not this foot golf thing, is it?
It is the foot golf thing.
I had not heard about this until the weekend.
It sounds so much fun for people who have really bad eye-hand bat coordination. And I know it's not called a bat. What is it, a club?
Yes, Michelle.
The only thing I think of with club is a sandwich, but never mind.
Yeah, I suppose if golf's not your thing, is this I don't know, it's not even like an introduction to golf, is it really?
Well, it's kind of football, but not football because it's a golf ball. Anyway, it's a smaller than average football, but a bigger than average golf ball that you kick around on a golf type course, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can imagine families having an absolute ball with this. It looks such a fun thing. Something a bit different than going to play the mini golf, because let's be honest, one of those courses at the mini golf is virtually impossible unless your name is Arnold Palmer. The other one is a lot of fun, but if you've done it once or twice, it's starting to get a little bit stale.
Yeah, I suppose this is a quirky alternative. I mean, I do love my, mini golf course, my crazy golf courses, as I call them. I do like those, but yeah, I can see this being an element of trying to kick a ball into a hole. Sounds, in principle, quite an easy thing to do, but I've got a sneaky feeling you're going to feel absolutely worn out after this because you're going to be running backwards and forwards, chasing that damn ball across a green, trying to get it into a hole.
Well, Walt Disney World Golf is operated by Arnold Palmer Golf Management, so it's sort of like subbed out to them.
Okay.
And it's Disney's Oak Trail Golf Course, and there's a special 9-hole foot golf course, and it's actually certified by the American Foot Golf League, the AFGL.
So this is a proper thing then?
Yeah.
Sorry, I do apologise for laughing at it, but because I'd never heard of it before.
Neither had I. I think it's fantastic. You can book a tea time, and that's not as in a beverage time, but a tea time to actually kick off, because you can kick off, and play 9 holes. It takes about an hour and a half, but if it's anything like the last time I played golf, it took 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, I can see this taking a lot longer than an hour and a half. I know what my family's like.
Yeah. Dependent on whether you're a day guest or a resort guest, the price does vary. It's slightly cheaper for a junior. So prices range somewhere between $19 and $25 per person.
Yeah, it's not too bad, really, is it?
And you can book it from 90 days out.
There you go, Michelle. You better get on it then, love.
I think it's one I'm going to miss.
Is it really? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe next time, eh?
Maybe, but I don't know. I just think it's fun, and if you're a sporty family and a competitive family, I can see some of our listeners absolutely having a ball with this one. So if you do decide to go, please, please, please let us know.
Oh yeah, get some photos over for us. I'd love to see it in action.
Oh, sounds so much fun. So much fun.
Mm.
Another thing I thought about people might want to do, we've heard about the really romantic carriage rides. Well, if that's not your style and you're a little bit more of a yee-haw type of person, how about a horse-drawn excursion on a wagon ride?
Ooh, okay. Where are these wagon rides then?
These are held over at the cabins and campsites at Fort Wilderness Resort.
Uh-huh.
Happens daily, 6 p.m. to 8:30, weather permitting.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to book. You just have to go to the front of the Pioneer Hall. It's a 25-minute experience. Costs $12 and above if you're an adult.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
A nice place to go around as well.
Yeah. The wagons are fairly big and they can take up to 30 to 35 people. So if you're there, say, for a wedding or a family reunion or something like that, you can book out the entire wagon for $300. So that still works out at $10 a person.
That's not too bad.
So if you want something a little bit different to put into your trip, this sounds a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you want to advance book on a Friday, Saturday or Sunday, you can book in by ringing 407 WDW play.
Aren't we helpful?
We are helpful. I think that sounds fun. And while we're talking about using the resorts, a lot of them do all sorts of campfire activities, movie nights, things like that. So that's a nice freebie.
Yeah, and I say it is that element, isn't it, of going back to what we were saying at the top of the show about, you know, planning and getting that time to plan. Again, look at the resorts and you might be surprised at just what's on offer, especially during summer months when they have movie nights and all those type of things. So just do that little bit of extra. Don't just concentrate on what the parks have got to offer. Just try and look a little bit further afield and you might be pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely fantastic. Good point there, Michelle. Well done, Michelle. I don't know about you, Jane, but I'm a bit of a nosy person.
Well, I would classify myself as being curious, perhaps.
Intrigued by things. Well,
intrigued, yeah.
I'm intrigued to know what the Grand Floridian Wedding Pavilion looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been in.
No, me neither.
I'm unlikely to ever get in because I don't know anybody I know who's going to get married there.
Me neither.
So when it's not in use, you can actually go and have a peeky peek.
Can you now?
Well, you can just pretend you're getting married soon and you're looking for a place.
Yes, just want to scope it out, just make sure it's up to my standards.
Yeah, I'm going to so do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Can you have lots of photos then, please? And video.
Well, I just thought it'd be interesting. But another fun thing to do as well is to visit the resorts.
Oh, yeah, we all, we do say this time and time again, isn't it? There's lots of different things, just shopping alone. Come on.
Yeah.
All the different resort hotels. Surely, yeah.
I've been wittering about 4 parks in one day. How about visiting all the Disney resorts in one day?
Wow, that would be an achievement.
Each resort, a different drink, a different snack, and a visit to a shop.
In one day?
I think you'd be paralytic by 2 p.m, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that would be some challenge, Michelle. I suppose if you were allowed to go, start early hours in the morning, you could have breakfast, start off with breakfast and go all the way through to evening drinks, perhaps. Yeah. I suppose if you did it right, you could get in fireworks and all sorts, couldn't you?
Mm. And they don't charge you to go and visit them. You don't need theme park entry. You can even do the monorail loop without a park entry.
Yeah, that's a good one to do.
But there are some Disney hotels I've still not been and visited, so I think this is something that at some point I would like to do. You know, I do want to be able to have said I've stayed at all of the resorts. Well, I really should be able to say I've visited them all.
Yeah, this is very true.
So,
And there's always new resorts or extensions to resorts popping up here, there, and everywhere, isn't there? So, always an excuse to go back to ones that you've been to before.
but some of the resorts also offer freebies.
Mm-hmm.
So the Animal Kingdom Lodge offer the animal viewing spots.
Yes.
So that's a good one. Now, the Boardwalk, Wilderness Lodge, Yacht Club, Grand Floridian all offer free hotel tours, which you can book via the concierge.
I did not know that.
You can do them over in Disneyland in their hotels as well.
That's really interesting.
So I keep saying I'm going to do them, but I never do. But I will do that. It's just something that I think, wow, kill an hour or two.
Absolutely. And I know we've said it already, but, like for people who live local and have the great fortitude to be able to go to Disney World or Disneyland for that matter on a regular basis, these are the sorts of things that are ideal to take advantage of, aren't they? To do those over and above sort of elements. Because as you said, you're going to want to make sure that you hit certain attractions and certain shows because you don't know if they're going to be there the next time you get to go to Disney World. A tour of a hotel may not be on your priority list, but for anybody else that's fortunate enough to go on a regular or semi-regular basis, these are the nice little add-ons to be able to do.
Absolutely. Well, Jayne, that wraps up the list for this week's show. Can I just say, It's been a cracking chat.
Cracking chat, love.
A cracking chat. I'm really, really happy that next weekend it will be something that we will not be actually recording on the actual sort of 21st because I'll be on that big plane in the sky.
You will indeed, my dear, and I shall be following you every step of the way.
I'll try and share one or two bits.
Well, yeah, just an odd bit.
An odd snippet.
An odd bit every now and then, eh?
Yeah. But you can find out everything and anything going on in our lives over on our social medias. We're on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. We have our Disney Dream Girls podcast family, which you can look up. You have to answer a couple of really easy questions to become a member. You don't answer the questions, I'm sorry, you're not going to become a member. Also, there's our normal podcast page over on Facebook and our website, DisneyDreamGirls.com, where we have guest blogs as well as show notes with backstories, more information to back up this week's show.
Yeah, pop over. There's lots of good stuff over there.
So until our next time where we chat and aim to entertain, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.